In today's dating environment, women have all the power, but they exercise it without responsibility. This power was given to them by a growing population of simps that so easily throw themselves at women's feet for the hope of romance and sex. It's safe to say that an attractive woman with a Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, and Bumble profile today is offered sex by men 100 times per month, at the very least. As a result, more males are living sexless lives. In 2008, the number of sexually inactive males 18 to 30 was just 10% of the demographic. In 2018, it is 28%. Females only find 20% of men above average in terms of attraction. 80% are rated below average. But what does this mean for you? It means it's never been harder than it is now to have a woman's affection, loyalty, or even her interest. 24% of women admit to ghosting. 49% of women said they occasionally cancel at the last minute. There's been a 68% increase in male virginity from 2002 to 2015. A woman is just not interested in the majority of the men who offer her romance and sex, and that's her prerogative. If 80% of those offers are from simps, no one would expect her to take them. But imagine the effect this has on her mentality. Reverse the roles. Suppose you were offered sex from 100 women a month. What would that do to your personality and the way you treat them? You'd probably have an overinflated ego and false perception of your sex appeal. You'd believe you deserve the submissive respect of all women just because you exist. You might even flake on several dates, canceling them at the last minute because you're uncertain you're getting the best woman you could possibly have. Because you have so many options at your disposal, if one of them didn't behave exactly as you pleased, you'd get douchey with them. Instead of communicating with them precisely what you want, you'd expect them to read your mind and treat you precisely how you wish. If they didn't, you'd have no hesitation about dropping them because there were plenty of other options for you. You might even ghost on them without a trace. You might be extra moody and emotionally dependent on maintaining the level of attention you're used to getting. If you got less female attention one weekend than the last, you might throw a hissy fit and demand the universe fix this injustice. To be even more difficult, because you've been on so many dates, you'd get bored really fast with the usual pleasantries and initial conversations. This would turn you into a rude jerk that got bored with a woman that wouldn't perform tricks like a dancing monkey to entertain you, didn't have interesting stories from an interesting life to share with you, or didn't make you laugh to alleviate the mundane. You'd become addicted to experiencing something new and fresh rather than something stable and reliable. You'd chase excitement while stomping on the hearts of many human beings, not even realizing you're doing it, because your attention span and depth of thought were no greater than that of a fruit fly. This is what today's sexual and dating marketplace is like. The only difference is that women have the power just described, and the men suffer from their lack of power and understanding of how to successfully navigate this marketplace. What's needed is a sexual market correction, and that is where Reinvent Ideal comes in. Reinvent Ideal means changing the ideal standard for what an enjoyable life as a male actually is, and in doing so, changing the life conditions for men set by the world, making it more favorable for the male experience in the sexual marketplace where women currently reign supreme. Reinventing ourselves as men is our best hope for reclaiming our previously held dominance of the dating environment. The world paints a picture of the ideal male life as a man who's a model citizen, committed careerist moving up the corporate ladder through loyalty and conformity, actively involved in his community by coaching Little League or serving in some other way, goes to church on Sundays or some other religious service, marries a woman and stays married to her for the rest of his life, and raises, on average, 2.5 kids together. The only other thing they need is a house with a white picket fence. Social imperatives tell us that if we pursue this kind of life, we will be happy once we've reached it. But the truth is that there is no man more miserable than this one described. He's very jaded from his job upon finding out that corporate America is loaded with nepotism and political correctness that views him unfavorably just for being male. They dangle myths of opportunity in front of him to keep him acting as a loyal worker bee, but have no intention of investing in his growth. His once attractive wife has now cut her hair, packed on extra pounds, and blames it on the kids. She nags him about every little thing, forces him to do the household labor while she does none of her own, while constantly telling him that he's useless. This woman is no longer pleasant to look at, nor to be around. Sex is a thing of the past for this couple, not that he'd want to have sex with said wife. And the kids are nothing but costly idlers, indoctrinated by the media to believe their father is a moron, unworthy of respect, and crippled by the education industry to become failures in life, having to rebound to their parents for financial support well into adulthood. This man never realizes his dreams, never gets to retire, never travels the world, never makes out with a foreign beauty, and has nothing to show for his life of work. He continues on at a job he hates to pay for his wife's demands and his kids' failures. The only happiness in his life comes from a bottle, a cigarette, a TV show, a video game, or a porn site. But a reinvented man's life is different. Instead of getting married early and supplementing to a woman's needs, he decides to temporarily check out of the sexual marketplace, forgetting that women even exist, so he is no longer distracted by them as he works on bettering his own life. He chases success instead of women. Instead of a job, this man owns his own business, where he's the boss. His work is location independent, and the schedule is set only by him. The work is meaningful to him, and the only limit on his earning potential is the limit he chooses to acknowledge. Instead of serving a community full of people he doesn't relate to at all and doesn't even like, he builds his own community and social circle of other men he admires and benefit him by being part of his life. He's not a product of his environment. His environment is a product of him. Rather than pissing away thousands of dollars on engagement rings and wedding expenses, he puts his money to work for him, for his future financial freedom, to the point where the remainder of his life is already paid for and can be lived without consequence. While most men his age have a disgusting dad bod, wishing they still had the body from their 20s, and reminisce about it like a long-distant memory, this man has an even better physique and hits the gym hard daily to maintain it. By age 36, the age he typically reaches his peak sex appeal to women, he may decide to re-enter the sexual marketplace if he wants to, but this time, he dominates it. Women now are the ones chasing him. They fight each other over him. Some may even choose to share him, as they'd rather share a quality man than have a dedicated simp. Instead of nagging him and holding him emotionally hostage, they behave pleasantly around him. And they are the ones that initiate sexual activity with him because sex with such a man is a source of validation for them. This man is the life of the party wherever he goes. The one that always gets the invite. The one that can even get a party going on a short notice. The one you want planning your bachelor party or birthday. If all men could do this, to just temporarily check out of the dating scene, to spend that time working on and reinventing themselves. Upon their return, the sexual market will be corrected. He becomes the Chad that women love, the Kevin in sales they fall for. Instead of the simp they make rules for, he's the pimp that they break those rules for. He reinvents the wheel, or better yet, reinvents ideal.